Oh, my friends, we are getting back into vlogging with a bang. This Hot Mess Express just spent the last 25 minutes cleaning up Gracie's anxiety vomiting in the car because I had the audacity to take her to get her nails done. Y'all, it was like the worst she's ever done. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. We're just gonna leave it at that. So that's how I started my Friday. Amazing. But that aside, we're done now. I'm all grossed out and we're moving forward because it is Friday and I want and need to get back into the swing of putting videos up on my channel post-move. If you missed my big announcement, my husband and I moved. We're in the same area. We're still in Minnesota. That hasn't changed. We're just like 15 minutes away from our previous home, but we moved to a house with all four walls and no more offensive bass boom, boom, booming. And basically it's our dream home. The kitchen is a dream. The pantry is a dream. And my husband's basement is beyond anything he could have possibly imagined. So we are in the middle of getting our house put together. But we've been here now. Today is actually 2 weeks since we've had official move-in day. And so the essentials and everything have been unpacked. And now we're just getting all of the other boxes slowly but surely unpacked and things and messes put together to make a cohesive, completely unpacked house. When will we be completely unpacked? I have absolutely no idea. But in an effort to get a sense of normalcy back into my life after a month and a half of utter and complete chaos, we're gonna vlog today and we're gonna see where it leads us. So welcome to my first official vlog back after moving. Today's plan was to very simply go get Gracie's nails trimmed and her face trimmed and then go over to a grocery store that I am now in closer proximity to, Fresh Thyme. I'm very excited about it, but we had to take a brief intermission to clean up the mess. So now we are done with that. We woke up this morning to 28 degrees and our first frost of the season. And now I've been running around in a Sherpa-lined sweatshirt all morning, and now I'm boiling because of all of the cleaning and hustling and rushing I just had to do, and it's 53. So we have increased 25 degrees since we woke up this morning, which is amazing. No, it's not tank top weather, but I need to put on a lighter long sleeve option to go where I want to go next, which is the Fresh Thyme Market, to get just some food for the weekend. Our eating schedules have been a little bit off. I made food this week, but the quantities I made were not in the right proportions. So like we ran out of vegetables first, and then I wanted to eat a different carb than what I actually prepared. I was not feeling it. So I've made different carbs like 3 or 4 nights this week. We had chicken breast. The chicken breast was great. It's lasted us all week long. But this coming week, we've got a funky eating scenario because Monday we have a friend coming over to help my husband with things I can't help with, and he's going to take him out to dinner, which means I don't have to cook on Monday. We're hosting our small group on Tuesday, which means I'm probably going to pick up pizza, which means I don't cook on Tuesday. So I'm not probably cooking until Wednesday, which means I should come up with something to cook this weekend. And basically all of that was to say I want vegetables, because if there's one thing I've been eating a lot of, it's carbohydrates. 100%. I've been having my bagels with my pumpkin cream cheese, and all of that non-bread was on sale at Costco, and it's higher fiber and got some protein in it, so I had no problems eating my little mini non things. But I've been eating a lot of carbs, and just due to the fact that we've been so busy unpacking and I haven't been cooking, we have not been consuming the amount of produce that we normally do. Fresh Thyme Market, usually, I haven't been to a Fresh Thyme in years since I lived in Illinois, because I lived pretty close to one in Illinois. Usually the produce looks pretty good, and if you buy the stuff that's on sale, you can typically get a pretty good bargain for it. So because it has been literally 6, 7, 8 years since I have been to a Fresh Thyme Market, I'm going to go just to look around, get a few things, and maybe make like a roasted fall vegetable tray or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But little miss, I don't know if you can see her. is enjoying herself by the sun, in the sun. My office is the place that gets the most sunshine, which is another reason I'm hot, which is perfect for me because when it's going to be, you know, below zero outside, we want the sun streaming in and heating up my office so I'm not completely uncomfortable. So it actually is going to work out really well. So welcome to my vlog. Welcome to whatever we get into today, maybe all weekend. We'll see what this turns into. And thank you so much for being here, even after my long random hiatus yet again. I promise I am working on getting back to it. This should be the last major life interruption that prevents me from doing what I want to be doing, which is being a content creator. So let's hope that that's true and let's get this day going. Like it's not already 1:15 p.m. Let's get the rest of this day going. All right, friends, I have returned from Fresh Thyme and the prices not as stellar as I remember them being. Again, it was like 7 or 8 years since I had been to a Fresh Thyme market, but gracious, they had more specialty things that were higher in price than well, and everything that's found in like a Target was higher in price, but that's not uncommon for other grocery stores. You have to wait on sales and whatever. The point is I grabbed a couple of things because they were on sale, and I grabbed a couple of things because they were brands that I have either previously not seen or I had heard of in one case, and it was pricey enough where I didn't want to order it, pay shipping, whatever, but it was conveniently located, so I grabbed a package to try it and then figure out how to go from there. So this is my haul. Starting with on sale produce. All of the produce I purchased was on sale. We got some Brussels sprouts, because they're tiny Brussels sprouts, but I wanna cut them up and roast them and have some nice roasted Brussels sprouts. I got 2 bell peppers because they were on sale. How gorgeous is this bell pepper? Look at, like, the multicoloring is just stunning. This is called an Aloha bell pepper. So I got that, and then I got a good old orange bell pepper. And then I purchased, let's see if I can lift both of them. I got some acorn squashes because I make or I have in the past, and we'll see if I can recreate it, a turkey stuffed acorn squash, which has been a hit the 2 times that I have made it. So I thought this would be a nice way to incorporate that into a nice fall themed dinner in the not too distant future. And then I haven't had some cherry tomatoes in here in a while, so that's what I got. And then the pico de gallo, the fresh pico, was on sale. I love fresh pico de gallo, and it's just not readily available in the places that I shop. So when I do find it and when it's on sale, I snag it because I either eat it as a salsa, but more often I eat it in my scrambled eggs, and I love it. I love salsa in my scrambled eggs, and pico is just like fresher salsa. I got, this I purchased because it was available. This is the Bolthouse Farms Dill Pickle Ranch. Come on now. Come on now. Amazing. And then I got, this was actually on sale at an incredibly awesome discount, so I knew I had to get that. Frozen, yes, but wild caught salmon fillets, which is great because instead of buying the individual portions that I've had to make previously, for the days that I make a salmon bowl and I just make the fillets and then shred them all up anyway, this is a great option. Pop the whole thing on a cookie sheet, put it in the oven, shred it all up. It doesn't matter what size it is, and it's super lean, super healthy because it's wild caught, and it was very reasonably priced. Had to get that in the freezer right away. Okay, 2 things I purchased because they were there. Well, I guess I purchased 2 of these Good Culture cottage cheese. I haven't been able to find Good Culture cottage cheese anywhere that I shop lately. So I saw it and it wasn't outrageously inflated in pricing. So I grabbed 2 because I love Good Culture cottage cheese. And interestingly, the Good Culture was cheaper than the Daisy cottage cheese, which isn't always the case. So I grabbed the Good Culture. And then this was something that I got because it was on sale and wanted to try. Smash Foods is actually, I've tried them before because they have chia seed infused jellies and jams, which adds, chia seeds have omega-3 fats and fiber and all that good stuff. So it adds the fiber to the jelly product. I've tried it before and I really enjoyed it. So I thought this snack would be a great way to try something else by them. The little balls are 210 calories, 4 grams of fiber, 8 grams of protein in this little snack. Not too bad. You could do much worse. And then I saw these. I threw a party. and because I love these. We buy these all the time when we are in South Florida because they are readily available. And to get them anywhere else, I have to have them shipped to me, and I'm just unwilling to pay for shipping because that's just who I am. However, this is gonna be the only time I buy them. They didn't have a price tag on them, so I grabbed them and I was like, whatever it is, I'll buy them once and then be done. They were like $7.50 for this box of cookies. In Florida, they're like $4.49, $5, which is still ridiculously expensive, but not as expensive as this. I love these. The macros are just on point. 90 calories for 2 cookies, 90 calories, 14 carbs, 8 grams of fiber, 8, and 4 grams of protein. Like fiber bomb. So what I need to do, I need to figure out how to make these on my own. I really need to put in the effort to figure out how to make these so I don't have to buy them anymore and can make them whenever I want for cheaper. And then the 2 products that are completely new to me, this is the brand that I have heard of and seen online, Hero Bread. It is one of those low net carb, which means high fiber breads. And I grabbed the bagels because I've been on a real bagel kick lately. And this bagel is 130 calories, 21 grams of fiber, 25 carbs, 21 of them are fiber, and 19 grams of protein. So they have the potential to taste amazing. They have the potential to taste terrible. I will let y'all know. But it reminds me of the macros that are in the Western bagels that I used to buy. But I've wanted to try this other brand. But before ordering in a quantity that makes sense financially to have it shipped and whatever, I was like, I don't want to buy a whole bunch of it just to find out it's terrible. So the fact that I saw it in here made me spend the money to get it and try it and then figure out what to do going forward. Obviously not as an everyday scenario. It'd be way too expensive. It's like $11. But to try it, to be able to review it and tell you, hey, it's great, hey, it's not so great, I'll let you know. And then the other thing I found, which I actually purchased because of the price, and I didn't even realize it was on sale. So it was $2 cheaper than I thought it was gonna be because they apparently don't label their stuff very well there. This was a new to me find, Flourish Protein Pancake Mix. Now, I've had protein pancake mix in the past, and I'm not talking like Kodiak cakes. The protein in this is 23 grams. 23 grams of protein and 7 grams of fiber. So I was all in on the macronutrients, okay? And I have had Abs protein pancakes ages ago. I used to get it when I was in Illinois. I would order Abs protein pancakes for much more money than this, for the same amount of protein, more or less, give or take a gram or two. And they were good. They were good. So I was like, you know, if these don't suck, this is a really great thing to try. Here's the one question mark. Sweetened with monk fruit. Sweetened with monk fruit. So we'll see what that ends up meaning. We'll see. Because monk fruit, for those of you who don't know, sometimes I assume it's monk fruit that doesn't agree with me. Now, there is something to be said for the fact that monk fruit is often cut with erythritol, and I know that erythritol does not agree with me. So if this is a pure monk fruit product, it might be different. It might hit different, quite literally, than the when it just has monk fruit extract. That might actually mean monk fruit and erythritol. So maybe it's the erythritol that actually bugs me, but I can handle monk fruit in small quantities, and it is the very last ingredient on this list. So I'm hopeful that the pros outweigh the cons with this. So I will give it a try again, and I will report back at a later date. So that is my outrageously expensive, even though the produce was not expensive, fresh time haul, and perhaps one of my few and far between fresh time hauls. Thought I would share with you my very exciting Friday night dinner. One of the greatest things that I think, wow, I can't talk. One of the greatest things I think the company Goodles has done is, now they make the really good macaroni and cheese. It's like part chickpea and other stuff and part wheat flour, but the macros are just immaculate. It's got fiber, it's got protein, and it tastes good. So I've been a fan of the Goodles macaroni and cheese in various flavors for a while now. One of the smartest things I think they've done is they came out with just the pasta. Like, You know how you go and you buy a box of macaroni or whatever kind of noodle you want to put your own sauce on? They did that. So it is the Goodles macro pasta that you can do whatever you want with. So I had a box of that and decided to just whip that up, throw a can of or a jar of tomato sauce on it, and I microwaved up an amalou chicken sausage and sprinkled a little bit of Parmesan cheese on it. And even though this looks like a really carb heavy meal, this is in fact just regular wild grain sourdough bread. I've had one loaf in my freezer for a really long time and finally decided to make it primarily to get rid of it. Like, it literally moved with us. It didn't need to move with us. So I made it to have with this. But even though this is like, oh my gosh, look, a giant plate of pasta, it's pasta that is super high protein and high fiber, which makes it even better because it tastes good and it's delivering all of those nutrients. So it's a win-win all around, really. Good morning, my friends. Happy Saturday. So I'm going to try the Hero bagels that I hauled from Fresh Thyme yesterday. So far, they're a little smaller than regular bagels, but they toasted beautifully and they're nice and soft, which is really good because I don't need bagels that taste like hockey pucks or have the texture of hockey pucks. One thing I will note, we have no way of knowing for 100% certainty how many calories of fibrous carbohydrates actually get digested. So some diet companies, the things that want to sound lower calorie, will eliminate the calories from all fiber. And remember, these are high fiber bagels. So the nutrition label says 130 calories. The macro math, not subtracting any of the fiber, is actually 212. Take that information and do with it what you will. If you are somebody who's tracking macros, you don't get to count net carbs. You don't get to eliminate those. The carbohydrates in their entirety count. So you're actually eating closer to 212 calories, not 130. That doesn't invalidate the usefulness of the product. The high protein, high carb, very important. High fiber rather, very important. We like a high fiber, high protein breakfast. That's not the issue. The issue is we don't know for sure if your body or my body or all bodies as individuals take every gram of fiber and don't digest it fully enough to have it count for 0 calories, or does it count for 1 calorie or 2 calories? As a reminder, 1 calorie or 1 gram worth of carbs is 4 calories typically. So companies that want to sound lower calorie are just going to go, let's just eliminate all the calories from the fiber and call it good, which isn't always accurate. The more you know. I'm going to put my cream cheese spread, which is the Trader Joe's pumpkin cream cheese, my favorite cream cheese, on this bagel, and we're going to treat it just like I've been treating the rest of the bagels I've been eating while I've had this cream cheese, and see how it tastes. 26. Oh, that's almost spot on. All right. Cheers. It's perfectly fine. It's hard to explain because it is actually still very light and fluffy, which is great. But as you chew, it gets ever so slightly denser. Like towards the end of the bite, you can go, this is not a regular bagel. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So, all right, not bad, Hero. I would be intrigued enough to try your other products. I'm going to go eat this. Rule, especially when starting your day with something so high in fiber, you gotta sit down and you gotta hydrate first. Whenever you are increasing your fiber intake, you must also increase your water intake or your body's gonna be very unhappy with you. Pro tip of the day. Today's project is getting the gym at least kind of in order. So I'm passing my husband pieces of the floor as he builds it. Good morning. It is 6:20 a.m. on Sunday. I've got about 30 seconds to film this clip because I have to be at church. My husband is already at church. He is producing the services, which means he has to get there even earlier than I do. And I decided, no, not gonna try and leave half an hour earlier because 6:20 is already really early. And now we live slightly further, only a handful of minutes. It's gone from like a 13-minute commute to like a 17, 18-minute commute, which is normally nothing dramatic. But Lord have mercy, when you have to get up at 5 o'clock, those extra few minutes really do feel like they make a difference. Let's go sing praise to the Lord. Happy Sunday, friends. I did a little fall decorating over the weekend, so I thought I would share. These are all old decorations. None of this is new. That's an Erin Condren blanket from I don't know how many years ago. It's one of my favorite pillows. That table runner is actually from like an Amish market from at least a decade ago that my aunt bought me. It's technically reversible, but it's just boring green on the other side. But this, I don't know if you can actually tell, has like gold shimmer throughout it. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. So this is one of my favorite little fall moments here. There's a little doggy. Then over there, we have just a few little moments. My little witch. We have this little moment here. These little ceramic guys, this was done AV. That's my grandmother who passed away in 2010. She did that one. And then these little ceramic ghosties, how stinking cute are these? I think both of these are F. These are my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother did these. So my grandma's mom, they were both into painting ceramics. And so there's a lot of ceramics in the house. And everyone else's houses in the family that are painted by my great-grandmother or my grandmother. And then there's this picturesque moment. Look at that. Glitter pumpkin. Glitter pumpkin lives. She's right there. That's a bouquet I got from my grandmother in a care package when I was in college. By the little Jesus. There he is. And then this little guy was actually a ceramic painted by my husband because we did a couple of ceramic painting dates. So just when we got our little guys down there, just a few little things, nothing wildly dramatic. Most of it is here. There's a little bit in the kitchen. Let me show you what's in the kitchen. So first I did swap out the pad of paper. I have seasonal pads of paper. So we have one of those. This I got in a fall decor box of some kind. It says leaves are falling, autumn is calling. But then my favorite little moment is this. We've got this little guy, we got another Jesus, because of course my bamboo plant is currently sitting on the table because we were talking about it at small group last night. And then we have this, which I normally keep in my office, but it just looks so good on the windowsill. So that's what we're doing. I'm loving that windowsill. And then my Your Love is Better Than Pumpkin Flavored Anything. It felt appropriate to keep it in the kitchen because pumpkin flavored. And then we have this guy too, which, oh my gosh, the lighting. Can't really see. There we go. I got that at Hobby Lobby, I don't know when. And then what else? Our little glass pumpkin that we paid a huge amount of money for at the Arboretum 2 years ago. And then I've got my glitter pumpkins in my blue bowl. And then we found this guy at like Home Goods or something. And it matches our blue decor really well. So that's why we have that there. We've got the pumpkin mat there. And then, but wait, there's more. I'm not giving myself enough credit, apparently. We just have a little guest bathroom moment. I'm loving these shelves so much. So we have the Beanie Babies in here, and then that is a little like tea light candle holder that I have a timed electric or battery powered tea light in, and that was also a ceramic painted by my great grandmother. Fall soap and a towel and Halloween towels because it is Halloween week now. So that's about it. That's all we got. Good morning and happy Monday. Yesterday was a little bit of a wash in terms of vlogging. I can see a flake on my nose, my poor skin. Yesterday, as I mentioned in one of my only clips that I took yesterday, we were up really, really early because of church, and it was an incredible day. It was a great day of harmonizing. Oh my gosh, the harmonies. I got multiple people that came up to me and that were like, the harmonies today though. And I was like, I know, right? Like not to boast on myself, but to boast on just like the worship music as a whole. Cause it's not about me, but the power of harmony in a group that appreciates music is just unmatched. I love harmony and listening to it, being part of it, whatever. Worship was good. The Lord was in the room. It was lovely. And then after church, my husband and I we went through the process of becoming official members of our church, which we needed to do because we now have a leadership position within the church because we are small group leaders, not just participants. And so we officially became members. We went through like the interviewing with different people, and the elder board had to approve us, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we had a luncheon, and at the luncheon, they presented us with these blankets. Each of us, they presented each new member with blankets, a homemade lunch. We literally have a chef on staff who most of the time, occasionally they cater food in, but most of the time when there is an event with a meal, the chef and his staff are cooking it. And so it is homemade food, which is so amazing. They give us quality at that church. Even our snacks for the worship team, we have like the clean snacks at Costco, and like jerky sticks and cheese in the fridge and waters and Siete chips instead of like Lay's potato chips. Like they fuel us really well there, which is so nice. Anyway, I digress. That's not the point. And so as they're presenting us with our blankets, they present us with a certificate of membership, individuals, not as a couple, each individual. And they picked a Bible verse for each of us, and which was just so great. And so, like I said, I sang yesterday, right? And so the Bible verse that the church or the committee, whatever, picked for me specifically was Psalm 33, 1-4, which is, "Sing joyfully to the Lord, you righteous. It is fitting for the upright to praise him. Praise the Lord with the harp. Make music to him on the 10-stringed lyre. Sing to him a new song. Play skillfully and shout for joy. For the word of the Lord is right and true. He is faithful in all he does." And I literally, like, you could hear in the room a couple of other people that were like, oh, because they saw me stand up to get the stuff, and they knew it was me who was literally singing on stage an hour earlier. So it was just so lovely. I was like, oh, that was like, they put thought. It wasn't just like, here's a list of really great verses that we can randomly assign to people. They put thought into who they were assigning verses to and really thought about what each person's skill set was and personality and assigned verses to them, which I thought was incredible. So we're officially members now. Then my husband and I have not been Sabbathing since this whole chaos of like probably since the beginning of September, end of August, beginning of September. We have not been Sabbathing. And yesterday it showed. My husband and I got home from church after a really long day, up at 5. We didn't get home till about 1:30 in the afternoon. And we were both exhausted. My husband's like, my body doesn't want to do anything. And I was like, I feel you. I get it. And he was baffled by this. And I was like, we haven't rested. Yes, we get sleep, but we haven't rested in weeks, and it's showing. So we rested for a little bit, and then we tidied up the house to get ready for small group, and we had a smaller small group. Some people were out of town and unavailable, but it was still great. We still had several members come over, and we had great conversation, and it was just such a lovely time. And now here we are. It's Monday. Aunt Flo is a-knocking. My ring says she's due in 2 days. My other app says she's due like Saturday. My body is saying she might show up today. So that's where I'm at, feeling like a balloon and not feeling great. I don't feel terrible, but I don't feel great. Don't feel great. But today's gonna be the last day of the vlog. Here's what has to happen today. I've already placed a Target order for groceries, and I have to go to 2 different Targets because 2 of the things that I actually really needed were not available at the Target I placed an order for. Fine. The reason I'm not upset about it is because the Targets are not that far from one another. Okay, no big deal. But also, I'm on a mission. Yesterday, the Wicked for Good Stanleys launched. And normally, like last time, I didn't even blink an eye at them. I looked at them and I was like, I'm not excited enough about these Stanleys to even entertain the idea of paying the Stanley price to get these water vessels, especially when I have a water vessel that looks just like a Stanley but was only $25 instead of $45, right? Well, Wicked for Good versions, they actually made them a lot prettier and they made a lot more sense to me. So I was like, okay, great. There's also not a whole lot of Wicked for Good merch that I'm after. And I've talked about this in different group chats and whatever about my feelings on the overabundance of everybody slapping a Wicked label on something and calling it Wicked merch versus the collabs and the merch that's come out that's actually legitimate Wicked merch. And so I've just kind of been like, so far there's one thing that I've purchased, one thing, and it's one of the 2 Lego sets that I'm after for the new launch. That's it. So I'm thinking about going to see if I can find these Wicked Stanleys because because there's not a whole lot else I want. There is a legitimate reason for me to acquire at least one more water bottle, and which I'll get into later. It's legit. We're working on getting an RO system, but the problem is you can't like order them online. They're Target exclusives. You can't order them online. Go to your store to see the stock. Limited stock, flagged at every single store. So I'm not mad about having to go and pick up from 2 different Targets because I need to go inside the Targets and see if I can even find any of this Target Stanley stuff. I don't know what I will be able to find. I don't know if I will be able to find, but we're going to try to find the Target Stanleys today, or the Wicked Stanleys today. If they are not at the 2 Targets I'm going to, I might stop at one more just to look. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, it wasn't meant for me. That's fine. No problem. I'm not going to be heartbroken about it. It's more going to be a pleasant circumstance if I do manage to get my hands on one of the ones that I want. So there's that. Then we have to keep tidying. This office, it's not untidy, but there's stuff on my desk now. And as things have been coming up, I still haven't unpacked any of my nail stuff. And I need to get things finished in here. And then I need to get things finished in my closet. It's just a lot of finishing touches now. And that's important because this coming Saturday and next Saturday, we are hosting 2 open house get-togethers. Call them housewarming parties, whatever you want, but it's really like, we got this house so we could celebrate and embrace hosting and the community we have. Let's invite the community over to party. So we're gonna like cater in some food and just have a good time and turn them into game nights. Kids are welcome, the whole 9 yards. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So this week's goal is to survive and flow, get through that while doing all this other stuff, but like getting the finishing touches on things. So if people want the complete tour of the house, we can give it to them. So that's the goal there. And then I have a video collab that I have to film, which I'm really stoked about. So you can know about it first because this will probably be the next video after this one that goes up. So not so long story short, short story short, I guess. Did I tell you all about the pair of pants I found at Goodwill for like $8 that are incredible and I love them? They're yoga pants that are fleece lined and look like dress pants. Okay, I found them at Goodwill and I was like, for $8? Yes, bringing them home. And my husband is like, they kind of look like dress pants. I never once entertained the idea that they look like dress pants, okay? I was like, they're yoga pants. They are very clearly meant to be casual yoga pants. My husband's like, no, if you did it right, you could actually dress those up. I'm like, yeah, okay, babe, whatever. Fast forward to my middle sister's wedding. We're there, and that pair of pants is the pair of pants I brought to be lounge around bridesmaid wear, right? For the getting ready section or whatever. And so we get there, and then in the evening, the night before, I'm in the hotel room with my sisters, and I'm like, I'm gonna go change. And so I changed into this $8 pair of pants. And my youngest sister looks at me and she goes, what'd you put dress pants on for? Why'd you get fancy? I'm like, what are you talking about fancy? So my sister looked at it and said, these are also dress pants. Anyway, all of that to say, this pair of pants that I paid $8 for, I was like, okay, they're stupid comfortable. They feel high quality. They are warm, and apparently they look like dress pants. I need to know more about this brand. The brand is called G for Free. G for Free. And they're on Amazon. Cool. I put that in the back of my brain for in the future when I wanted to buy more pairs of these pants in different colors or different options. I know that I can get them. They're not $8 from Goodwill, but they're not unreasonably priced either, okay? Fast forward to, as a content creator, you get a whole bunch of really random emails saying, we wanna send you XYZ, we wanna work with you. And it's the most random stuff, right? One of the emails that landed in my inbox not too long ago was, no joke, from the brand G for Free. I did not reach out to them. I have not shared, I don't think I've shared, other than in passing. Like, I might have mentioned these pants in a video before, but like I've never tagged them in anything. They landed in my inbox and they're like, we want to send you some stuff for a individual video, a dedicated video, that's the word, review. And like, it was one of the quickest yeses I've had to a company in a long time. I'm not even getting paid for this video. I got clothes. I got clothes. They sent me 6 different pairs of pants in colors that I requested, in different styles, and they're like $35 a piece. And this was such a quick yes because I looked at my husband and I was like, I was planning to buy this stuff anyway, and I just got sent 6 pairs of pants. Amazing. And so all I have to do, I have to film a video that's like talks about them. So you'll hear that story again because it's a great story to intro the video, don't you think? And then I'll just be like modeling the different pairs of pants I got. And I'm so stoked about it. So I have to do that this week as well. And then just, you know, other random living life, moving in, surviving during your late luteal phase and period stuff. So I'll take you with me through the rest of today and then we'll see where we're at. All right, I am back from my errands and I thought I'd give you a little Target haul. Most of this was actually not because we needed it immediately, but because I have a Target 360 like bonus offer where if I spend $75 on Good and Gather branded stuff, I get a $15 credit, which is amazing. I love earning the cash rewards from Target. And so and you can do it over time. It doesn't have to be in one thing, but they gave you like an amount of time that you spend XYZ to earn this many rewards or whatever the case may be. And I have 5 days left to spend about $45 on Good and Gather stuff. So I prioritized that, and which was really easy to do with the stuff I needed and stuff in preparation for something I will need in the near future. So I got lunch meat and carrots. You'll note all Good and Gather brand. Lunch meat, carrots, cheese, all stuff we needed. Milk, obviously not Good and Gather brand. But then I got what was necessary to make some chili because who doesn't love chili? So it's all Good and Gather brand. Diced tomatoes, organic chili beans, and tomato sauce. So that's all canned goods that like we have a pantry. Keep it in the pantry. It's good forever. It's fine, right? And then to go with the chili, I got the Good and Gather organic 100% grass-fed lean beef. This took out a chunk of it, to be sure. And then for tonight's dinner, I grabbed Good and Gather ground turkey, and I wanted white cheddar cheese. So I decided that I'm going to bust out the food processor and shred this myself. So I got just a chunk of white cheddar cheese, again, Good and Gather brand, chili powder, Good and Gather brand, and some apples. So that should have knocked out my requirement, and I'm got the ingredients for chili already in the house. And tonight I'm making stuffed acorn squash with the ground turkey and the cheese and some spices and whatnot. And then most importantly, I found them. Not only did I find them, I found them at the first Target I went to. They were there, and they're absolutely stunning. They are stunning. So what I ended up doing was I bought the 30-ounce Glinda, and here's the problem. Is the camera picking up? Do you see the glitter? So last year, Stanley also did a Wicked collaboration. Oh, and look at that. Look at the crown, okay? Last year, the Glinda icon under here was a butterfly, and I'm like, Glinda's thing is not butterflies. It's not. So I just wasn't even interested. They weren't compelling enough to me to spend the Stanley money on. And then I had to get the big, look at, oh, this duochrome is showing up. Do you see the green and the purple? And as the light shifts, it moves, and there's even glitter on the, look at that. Freaking amazing. So I don't like to use the same beverage vessel for when I add stuff to my water. So for example, this has only been drinking water, right? Rarely do I add stuff to it. I prefer to have a different vessel for when I'm doing creatine or electrolytes or BCAAs or anything like that, because I just don't want to contaminate my regular drinking vessel. Like I have put Element in this, and then I have to give it a thorough wash and just still drink a little bit of remaining like salty watermelon flavored drinking water, just because it's the nature of the beast, right? So I bought the smaller, I decided to get Glinda to do all of my mixed beverages, Element, creatine, etc. And then she's just going to be, Elfie's going to be a drinking water vessel. I've never bought a Stanley before, y'all. These are the only two I'm ever going to need. Mark my words, but oh my gosh, they're beautiful. Oh wait, and look. It's perfect. Oh, it's so good. So good. So mission accomplished.
And I got all my groceries for the week.